everybody, this is Teri from Sweet Pea Papers, the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, the Junk Journal Tutorials and More Facebook group, and the Junk Journal and Paper Crafts Facebook group. Well, we're here. We're at the final video of our teeny weeny Halloweeny journal. And what we're going to be doing in this video is the cover. And we're going to be, hopefully, this is our last video, and we're going to insert the signatures as well. So what I've done is I have measured the signature, and then I added 1/8 of an inch to the top and 1/8 of an inch to the bottom, which is 1/4 of an inch in total. Then I took the width of the signature, couldn't remember the word, and I just woke up from a nap. I feel like my words are slurred. And then I added 1/4 of an inch to either side, and that gave me the size of the cover. Now, this is such a fat little journal. We've got 3 signatures that we're going to use a ribbon to hold it closed. Uh-oh, I didn't get the ribbon. Hold on just one second. Of course. Oh, there it is. Of course it was on the bottom. Sorry about that. I didn't want to pause the video. I knew it would only take a second. So we're going to use this black ribbon to tie our little journal shut. So there's that. I made a note on here so that I wouldn't forget to put the ribbon on when I'm after I make the cover, but before I put the papers on the inside. We've got a 1.5 inch spine, and I did that by taking all 3 signatures, measuring the thickness, and that's how I came up with the spine size. Now, I didn't squish them down like this, or it would have been a smaller signature. I wanted to go ahead and let it go just a little bit, make it look a little fatter, and tie the ribbon on. The main problem that we have with the thickness is that last page that we did where it flips up and then it flips open. As you can remember, that I finished papering this offline, and I did glue this to here using a tab or, you know, a little extra piece, and then I glued this onto here the same way. You can hear the little snap of the magnet and the snap of the magnet. I love it. I have not put the cards in yet, so that's going to make it a little fatter as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the cover. I left some space around to fold, and I did cut a piece of paper an 8.5 down to size. This is the full 11 inch width. See, I knew I couldn't talk. So I made a note for the ribbon on the other side as well. So let's go ahead and glue the spine in the center, and I'm going to eyeball this as I always do, because you know me. So I'm going to put the glue on the side that does not have the writing. That way I'll be able to see the writing when I've got the cover paper on, because all we're going to do is cover the outside. We're going to get another piece of black paper to cover the inside of this spine. And you want to glue the spine on really well. Okay, so let's take this spine and let's put it in the center, which I'm going to say is right here, and you want to put it in the center up and down as well. Maybe I'll move that over just a little bit. Okay, make sure that it's straight. Then we're just going to take the other one. Remember, we're gluing the side that does not have the writing. Sometimes this takes more than an hour because we're putting the signatures in as well. We're not just making the cover. So I have not turned my 45-minute timer on. And we're just going to power through and do the whole thing. Okay? Hopefully it will only take us an hour. And then you put this one on, and you leave some space for the journal to open and close. And you want to make it straight to the center and leave a little space, maybe 1/8 of an inch, not quite. And let's glue the other one on, leaving the side that says ribbon facing up. I think this is the 3rd time I've said it because it's important. These little cardboards are just lightweight chipboard glued together. I made 2 of each and then glued the 2 of these together, 2 of these together, and 2 pieces of this size together. They're curved a little bit because my chipboard curved for some reason. Okay. Now we're going to take the corners. You know, these look a little high up to me. I'm going to slide them down a little bit. Fabri-Tac will let you do that. Okay. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut the corners. You know, maybe I will use my bookmaking tool. And you're going to use the notched out corner and you're going to draw your 45-degree angle just like so. And use our chalk pencil so we can see it. And to use this, you just want to make sure this is going to go on top, and then you just slide it on the 45-degree angle, and then you make sure that the full length is here and not this part here. That means you have it on backwards. And it's not necessarily going to show the side with the numbers up. Only on every other side, every other corner. Now that long skinny end I use on bigger books. Wow, look at that. This one slid. Okay. Let's double check this now. Okay. So we've got all 4 corners drawn in. You can use this to make sure they're straight, but I feel like this is too wide. It makes it too loosey-goosey and floppy. And there's some other things you can use this tool for. It's called a bookmaker's tool. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's about $8. So that's that. So now, this is the only paper I had left. I forgot. I had told you before we had 2 left, but then I forgot that we needed a paper for the outside spine. Okay, let me see and make sure that's what I want to use. No, I think I want to use this one. It's got the pumpkins on it. Okay, so now let's cut these corners off where the line is. In fact, I usually cut just a smidge on the inside, not the outside. I haven't done a cover in a while. We've been doing so many folios. I'm like having a brain lapse. I'm not going to say that F-A-R-T word. Okay, now we're going to go around. I always fill my glue to the top when I start a cover, just because it usually takes quite a bit of glue. Now with this little one, it won't take as much. We're going to take these and we're going to fold this up just so it knows what we're going to do with it. We're going to kind of break the fiber a little bit. And then you can put it back down a little bit so you can put your glue on. I'm going to do that on all four sides. I even felt that one kind of pop a little bit, so that means we're on our way to a good side. The ends are a little long, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, and put it back down. We're going to do the two long sides first. So we're just going to put some glue along the top here. Then we're going to glue up here all the way to the edge. That's what's going to hold it on. This is what's going to hold it on to our book cardboard. You can also use two layers of cereal boxes. Some people use a little bit thicker. Let me say this first. You're going to pick it up, you're going to lay it down like this, and then you're going to roll it and slide it at the same time. And then you're just going to rub on it to kind of get it going. Usually with fabric tack, you'll hear like a little popping noise, and when you don't hear that anymore, that means it's down pretty good, and then we can flip it over and double check that it's glued down. What I was going to say is some people use a little bit thicker. See how it popped back up? Some people use a little bit thicker board. I forgot to give Oz this treat before we started. Poor little guy. And you want to make sure it's all glued down. Okay. And get out any extra glue while you can. Remember, the glue shows a lot on the black covers. So if you have any sticking out, you might as well get rid of it, even if it's going to be underneath. I don't know why, but I just like to do it. This corner looks like it could be stuck down a little bit more. Okay, we're going to do this side exactly the same way. In fact, we're going to do the ends the same way as well. Like I said, you want to make sure you've got enough glue so that it sticks down really well when you do the slide and flip. You don't want to have to do a whole lot when you flip it over. And like I said, you can hear it pop and crackle when the glue is grabbing. Oh, you know, I am going to have to pause because I have to print out another piece of this paper. I forgot during our break. And I'll give him his treat during that break. Sorry about that. I can't believe I forgot. And if you've got a fold over like that, then you're going to want to put glue down inside a little bit. Can't believe that popped up again. I put enough glue on there to hold down the Grinch. A little Christmas reference there. The ends usually stick on better than the sides, but look how much glue I have coming out. Kind of over glued. And I cut this a little crooked. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. Let's glue this down. While I'm holding it, I'm going to go ahead and erase this glue off. Just keep going. If it's wet still or damp, just keep going and it'll glob up into a little glob like so that you can take off. You know what I could do? What is the deal? The smaller ones, sometimes it's harder to get it to stick, and I don't know why. I can still hear that crackling. Alright, I'm going to try not to put as much glue in that corner as I did before. Well, I just globbed a bunch of glue right there, that's for sure. I always end up with a bunch of glue globbed down to the end of my dispenser. So I have to fix that. There's some glue on here, but we will be covering that, so. But I can't stand it. So I'm going to take it off. Glue eraser, a couple bucks on Amazon. I've had this one for years and it's just barely rounded the corners as far as use. Looks like I'm going to have to fix this corner as well. Sometimes you can just rub it off with your finger and then come back and get the last bit with your glue eraser. I'm wondering if I should put this paper in the center too. That would be kind of fun, but let's see what it looks like against with these on here. And then, oh, those are the covers. Yeah, see, I didn't do the inside cover paper either. I guess I thought I was done and I wasn't. Okay, I'm gonna put us on pause because we've got this cover. I'm going to take your bone folder and you're going to kind of go in these creases right here and kind of tell it where it's going to fold when you do fold it. Make sure that you don't use the point. You don't want to break through the paper. You just want to kind of give it a little reminder. Okay, so we need to put the papers and the ribbon on the insides. So I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to print the papers out because I'm like a ding-dong and didn't do it. We could use black on the inside, and actually we might, or we could use this on the inside. That wouldn't be bad. You have to trim it down to the size of the signature, not the cover. Okay, so I'll do that, and I will print out the I'll have to print out another sheet of this for the inside, and then I need to print out another sheet of this for the outside cover, front cover. Okay, I'll see you in just 1 second. Okay, here we are back. I've got the papers printed out. You wouldn't believe what I had to go through. It said that my hard drive, my external hard drive, was corrupted, and I really hope it's not. I think it's just my backup computer. If it's my real computer too, I'm so depressed. I'm in really big trouble because everything is on there. All my Etsy files, all my everything. So let's hope that's not true. So we're going to put our ribbon on, and we want to have enough to tie. So we're going to do this much on here. So let's do this much on there. We'll do another piece the same length. Okay. We'll glue them on. Don't glue it all the way to the edge. And then I always put a little piece of tape on there just to make sure it stays while we're working on it. Then we'll do the other side. This one looks higher than the other one. Okay. You want the tape to be far enough back that you don't see it from the edge. That's why I moved it back. You know, from the edge. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, the reason I cut out 2 pieces of paper is we're going to have one. We wanted to make sure to have enough, and I got both of these out of 1 piece of paper. This looks darker to me. So let's do it in the center. We're going to want about this much on either side. Let me flip it over to the white side. Cut that off. And I want this to go up and down, and I want it to be even on both the top and the bottom, and the left and the right. And we want to glue the center of this really well. Well, we want to glue all of it really well, but still. And I want to be able to slide it around. So that's why I'm putting the extra glue in the corners. And I'm going to put a bunch of glue in the center where the spine is. So we definitely want that to stick down really, really well. Okay. Then we're going to take this paper and moved a little bit. We're going to take our bone folder And where these lines are, we're going to go ahead and redo that all the way down. If you've done it the correct amount apart, your bone folder will run right down here because it's about as far apart as the edge. You can't really use the bone folder to measure. Well, I guess you could, but with time you'll be able to eyeball it when you're making the cover. I really don't recommend using that tool. I think it's too far apart. Okay, so we've got that. So we don't need our bone folder anymore. Now we're going to take a piece of paper. Oh, we didn't need two of that. That's all right. It was only one piece of paper. So we need that. Yes, we do. This is going to be our inside paper. So we're going to take, well, I really don't like that as the inside paper. I wish I had something else that I could use. I really don't like this. I guess we'll make it this all the way across. So then we'll measure this. I think I want it to go farther out. And then you can see the other paper goes to here. And you want to overlap it. So let's go to about here on this side. And then we'll just measure it. And that'll give us the same for the other side. Okay. You know what I didn't do? I didn't ink this. Wonder if I can still get it up. We only have to ink the top and the bottom. Because the sides are covered up. Can't believe I forgot. And everything was going so well. Everything's going so well. What is that movie? I know it. Nicole Kidman. It's a musical. Moulin Rouge. Right back down where it was. This time I did get enough glue in the corners. Now we're going to do this side. We're going to ink it. We're going to ink it all the way around. And we're going to glue it on. Okay, and we're going to put this on so that it overlaps this one, but not to the seam. Gauge it by making it straight on here. They're the same size, and out as far as you want it here. Okay, so we've got that one. I'm not wild about this paper. Maybe I'll put some pockets on there or something. That would be good. I don't think we'll have time to do that in this video. But you know how to put pockets on. You would go from the ink to the edge if that's what kind of pocket you're going to put on. I would use the scary pumpkins that we're going to use underneath on the cover. And you'll see that in just a minute. Okay. So you want to do the same thing on this side. Bring it in. Then you want to look at the other side and see how much space you left. So let's move it out. Let's line it up. Okay. Any extra glue, and don't let it slide when you do that. There we go. So now the inside of our journal is done. So now we're going to flip it over. As you can see, we have this smooth piece here. What's on the edge of that? Didn't want to erase. Make sure you don't have any glue or anything showing on the edges. Okay, and then we're going to fold our book don't go past 90 degrees. You don't need to. You want to make sure this doesn't bubble up like it is right there. Let's do this and make sure it's all glued down. See, I can still hear it crackle a little bit. I bet you can hear it too. try it again and see what happens. It's just a teeny little wrinkle right there. Could be because I went past 90 degrees. So you do that so you can see where the spine's going to be. And we're going to, and we're going to do the spine first. I want to do this little box with the pumpkins. Wow, look how big that is. Oh, we got to put the other paper first. So I want the pumpkins to be right side up. I don't want them to be sideways. Okay, so I'm going to measure this way. I'm going to flip it over so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to measure just a smidge on the inside so we've got the black. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to just cut the width first. But I like that a lot. Okay. You're going to want to leave a little on the bottom as well. And a little bit on the top. I like doing it this way because I know the spine's going to look good. And then once I do the spine, then I know how tall to do the same paper on here. Okay? Okay, and we're going to want to ink it. And it rolled off the glass surface because, you know, the button that keeps it from rolling. That was a joke. We could just do this on the side. I don't think so. Since it's the spine, we don't want it to bubble up at all. This is going to determine the top and the bottom of your journal. Make sure you keep track of that all the way through. It doesn't matter with the inside because it's just that wood pattern. However, if you had done your inside already and it was directional, then you really need to double check the outside, or you're going to be making it again. I put the paper on before we punch the holes. Okay. These are so short. I'm wondering if I should do a piece of black to make it smaller, the space, and then put this on. I think it would look better to have the double layer. Shoot. This is just so small. The reason it's so small is because we had these glued on to the page. And remember, the pages were a little big. So I'm running into this dilemma. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave it like this for right now. We'll wait and see what happens, because we're going to have to use the black on here. Yeah, that'll be big enough. That'll be big enough. And we're going to take the pumpkin first. It's really going to be like a 3-layer cover because of the black behind. Then we're going to have the pumpkin layer. Make sure you're cutting your pumpkins the right way. Got papers flying everywhere off my table. Okay. We're going to turn it this way, keep our pumpkins right side up. Or the way we want them, and not, now your spine is here. So you want to make it just inside the spine. You're going to put it there. Now, these are the same size, so we can use this one for that one and this one for this one. And make sure to ink them. Yeah, we're going to need the black because this is so busy against that. I really like that though. But we're going to do black color black. Almost would have been better off doing the stripes. I didn't think of it. I could have put the stripes on the inside. I actually still could. I really like that idea better than the wood. We'll make the pockets or belly band or something out of the stripes. That's what I'll do. Okay, we want to glue this on. We may have to make a part 1 and a part 2 on this. So I'm not sure. We've gone 30 minutes now, and I know we were at 30 minutes before. So let's put this one on. I'll put the back one on, and then we'll come back and finish it in part 2. Okay? All right. I will see you in part 2 of the cover.